So we got to see a snippet of what the digital future is going to look like, because as of this video yesterday, the PlayStation Network was down for around 6 hours, where people, if you had a hell of a lot of digital games, you couldn't play these games. And I had a lot of comments going on my latest video on the other channel stating that it was really annoying that I couldn't actually play my digital games. I was checking on X and people were saying, even one guy on X was saying that I hadn't played my PlayStation in 3 months, booted it up, and I couldn't play any of my games just because most of them are digital. And for most of my videos that you may have seen, I've always stated that it's all about saving physical media, but having the right to have the choice to buy both. And also to make sure as the consumer, we don't get ripped off. And we did have an interview with the Rockstar co-founder, Down Hauser, as he expressed his views. And I actually obviously liked his response into what he was saying. What I just find annoying is that so many of these companies think it's, oh, well, digital is actually more beneficial. We're not trying to say it isn't. We're trying to say we want the option to have both. If you do like these videos, make sure you hit the like button. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on this channel. So yeah, hit the like button. And so if you have a look here, PSN was down for 6+ hours actually, but the services are all up and running right now. Thank you for your patience. And you know what's even crazier is that there was no statement from PlayStation. They didn't actually say, oh, by the way, the PlayStation Network is down. They didn't let their consumers know, not even a post on X. And this is what obviously Sony has become. They just want to have very, very limited communication with their audience, which is so baffling. On one hand, you've got Xbox with Asher Sharma dropping emails onto X. And then on the other hand, PlayStation refuse to communicate at all. They just don't want to know. They just like, no, we don't want to speak to you. After a messy day of outages and inconsistent experiences, Sony says now it's up and running. And obviously you had to check with the PlayStation status. And at the time, when I checked mine, it was all red. Basically, I think it was all red apart from maybe the PlayStation Store. That's funny that. But what was funny is that I was still able to just boot up my game. I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Obviously, I know you have to have internet to install the game. I was able to play this offline. I wasn't bothering to try any other games because I was just playing that game. But it was good to know that, again, I didn't have any problem booting up any of my games. And it just shows you where Sony is at right now. They haven't got the capacity to deal with an all-digital future. As we've mentioned before, their storefront, you know, their network has got hacked many occasions. We had an outage yesterday. Remember Gran Turismo 7, when people bought that game, that was, I think that was down for a couple of days, basically the whole weekend, where people bought the game. Imagine you had a couple of days off and you bought the latest Gran Turismo, you couldn't play it. Yeah, they tried to give people credits and to say sorry. Obviously, I don't think Sony are going to do anything, but it just shows you that I just feel like Sony are not ready for this all digital future, because there are, as I've said before, there are so many things to sort out and they've refused to address them. Just like I've gone through ownership, the PlayStation Store in terms of how they do their deals. How does that work? Can we transfer our account to our kids? What happens when you die? I know that sounds pretty, you know, out there, but it's true. If you've got thousands and thousands of games, can we just give access to someone else? What happens if your account gets hacked and it's linked to that one email? Do you lose all of your games on that? Personally, I don't feel comfortable investing thousands and thousands of pounds into PlayStation's ecosystem, and then all of a sudden I get hacked and I've lost all of their games. Their customer service is one of the worst customer services I've ever experienced. So again, will they even help you with that? And obviously another one is the store. As we know, the PS Vita store, the PlayStation 3 store, I did a video on the main channel talking about this. Imagine if those were digital consoles. That's it. All of their digital games are lost to time. So imagine if the PlayStation 6, in the very future, you buy all these games and they revoke all of these games, like I just said, with ownership, and they shut down these storefronts. If we don't own these games, potentially they could be lost to time. So there are so many things that they need to address and they refuse to do so. So if we go to the very first update, Down Detector shows a huge spike in reports over the past few hours in the US. Obviously, this is when it was happening in the US, and then in the UK, more reports were coming in. I can't see my most recent played games. trophies, or browse my friends list or connect to game servers. Chatting with the rest of the push team, we're all experiencing issues. Some of us can't even verify our game licenses to play digital games. Not exactly ideal in this non-physical era Sony's trying to force upon us. Others are able to at least see their recently played games, but the PS Store is mostly broken. It seems like even the web-based PS Store is offline. Meanwhile, Marvel Tokon Beta was out today, and it showed network error on the PlayStation 5. Oh my gosh. Then there was another update. It looks like Amazon Web Services, which powers a lot of the PSN, had a hiccup earlier today, resulting in this worldwide spread. I'll continue to monitor the situation. Sony is yet to acknowledge any issues on the service page, and then around 1:40 p.m., it seems it expects functionality to be fully restored shortly. As routes continue to be restored, customers should see a continued reduction in error rates and timeouts when connecting to affected services. We are monitoring recovery progress closely and will continue working until all routes have been fully restored and service metrics return to pre-event levels. We will provide another update in the next half an hour to 45 minutes. Then there was another update saying that it has resolved all of these issues with its services. There are signs that they're improving as the PS Store is now accessible. That's probably when I tried it out where it was working. I did boot it up when this was going on just to see if Black Flag was working, and I was in pretty good. And then after 6 hours, it was finally starting to improve. And then obviously the service page had been updated to the ongoing improvements to PSN. You might have difficulty getting products from the PS Store. The company says it's still working towards a solution. Thanks for your patience. At least they thank you for your patience. And then obviously it says it's all up and running again. And as we know, it is back. This is just a glimpse of the all digital future. Yes, I guess we don't get these all the time, but there is, like I said, there are so many issues just like this. And how do you know that you're not just going to get hacked? I don't like this all digital future because I wouldn't be able to play Black Flag if I had it digitally, I'm assuming. And if all of my games were digital only, again, it's just so frustrating. You invest thousands and thousands of pounds into a console. Imagine over £1,000 for the next generation, and things just get worse and worse. Now, continuing the whole physical and digital debate, we had Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser actually spoke about this. And to be honest, apart from maybe indie developers, I don't think we've ever heard hardly anyone who's in AAA gaming speak about this. And it's so frustrating because we know Sony are giving strict rules to their employees. And again, it's just so frustrating because they know how pissed everyone is. So basically what he says, if people want it, companies should provide it. This is what he said to IGN, and you can actually see the video as well, which I did see. He goes, I don't know that I care. If people want that, I think companies should provide it, but I don't know that I personally care. And also, I think that the ability to update games is critical as people are of digital releases. The ability to update and fix problems in games has been really useful for the quality of games. And Houser was joined in by longtime collaborator Laszlo Jones during the discussion and noted how rewarding it was launching Absurd Ventures, aforementioned in comic book American Caper, in physical format. So he said, we've worked in digital together for a lot of years, and then making a physical product of a comic book is a different creative process, but it's also just really fulfilling to have a physical thing so you can say, look what we made. And personally, I don't trust the figures that Sony give out or what even Sakana. I just feel like they make out digital shits all over physical. Where personally, as we know from that Insomniac leak, which I'll keep getting back to, is that PlayStation's first party games were selling better physically. So someone goes, I can respect the attitude. If Sony won't stop manufacturing the discs themselves, just allow other manufacturers to license them. Either that or simply allow us to transfer the license onto a disc like GOG. What is so annoying is that I respect that he says he doesn't really care, but he said just if people want it, give it to them. And it's just so frustrating that why can't you, Sony, just, if other companies, even your first party studios, if they want to do physical releases or third party wants to do physical releases, just let them do it. It's so frustrating that this is what you want to maximize profits. And he said people care about it. If they want it, they should have it. I don't understand. And I get it. You overspend the AAA games. Like, no offense, Sony. You want to protect your game so much and maximize as much profits as possible. No one asked you to spend 400 million on Concord. No one asked you to spend 300 million on Intergalactic. No one asked you to spend, I don't know, 300 million on flipping Marathon. You know, you trying to protect your games and maximize profits because of maybe prices and of course the whole other saying of consumer trends of digital media. It's just so frustrating. But we got to see a glimpse of the all digital future. What did you think? Were you affected by this outage? Were you still playing games? Could you play your games? Could you play any digital games? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know.